Hey guys, this is Seth here with more Plague Inc. Evolved, and, well, now's the time we're finally getting to the plagues that are actually my favorites. And trust me when I say this, they are my favorites. Like, there's still two more to come that are my favorites, but the first of the three are now here. It's the Neurax worm. Excuse me. So, the Neurax worm is quite interesting. As I said before in the previous session, it's not actually that bad of a plague because in this game anyway, because there's actually multiple ways you can win the game in this. Not just this. This is one of the three where this becomes the case. And believe it or not, it really makes things interesting. It's really fun in that aspect. But also, just as importantly, this is probably the easiest worm, the easiest plague that can infect all the countries. You will not have any problem infecting countries. I assure you of that. Like, it's not that hard. However, well, we'll see in a moment once the game doesn't freeze, like it unfreezes itself, but believe it or not, it's very interesting just what you can do. I'm impressed. Right, so once again, I'm gonna start in India because, like I said, India and China are pretty much your prime places you want to start. But I'll explain in a second why this is so important. So SSF is a Neurax worm, undiscovered for thousands of years. Now humans have entered its natural habitat and given it the means to spread. So it's been undiscovered for thousands of years, and now humans have entered its natural habitat and given it the means to spread. Basically, it's been hidden, it's an ancient thing, and now humans have kind of made it so the worm can do its thing. Now, here's the thing, if you haven't already guessed, if you look carefully, you can see that the colors are not red this time, unlike before. Now it's orange. So if you haven't really gathered just how different... Top-notch mind. Gee, I wonder what that's a reference to. But as you can see, it's all orange this time instead of the usual red. Why? I will explain in a moment, but as you can see, there's some interesting stuff here. So things are radically different here. You're not getting the only thing that's similar is this right here. The only thing that's similar. Everything else is absolutely positively different. I mean, how the thing can spread, its special ability, of course, is different. And the special ability, as a matter of fact, is exactly why it's probably the easiest to make it spread to other countries. Because you can make it, quote-unquote, have Trojan planes to send it to countries to make it more infected. So it spreads very easily. Now, because of this, however, it's something that you have to get used to on its own. Like, you can't use the other plagues to kind of adapt. You sort of have to get into this separately. And of course, because it's not the first thing you unlock, yeah. So, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is target, the resistance to things, because, well, that is rather important. To be quite honest, that is important. As I said, the Trojan Plane special ability I will be using very soon. It just won't be immediate, because I prefer to get the main stuff sorted out first, the cold, heat resistance, and then the medicine, the drug resistance, but it's really, like, this thing is so radically different, and I'm going to explain in a moment why it's so different in the sense that, yeah, although you can technically kill everyone in this, with this plague, it's got another method, as I said. There's another method in this plague that it can actually benefit you. If you are craving for a, if you're more of a pacifist, you could say, where you're not really for killing everyone. And that's another reason why I love this game. It's just, like I said, it's just the variety and how nothing is, similar and stuff like that. But as you can see, there's a lot of different things here, and I'll explain each of them. Like, for example, transmissions. And here we're going to have a fun time trying to pronounce everything, because guess what? They're all very scientific and fancy. And anyway, Concertina locomotion. Concertina. Apparently this is a musical ability here. Not really. But basically what it does is its ability to... It gains the ability to grip with portions of the body while pushing other sections. Means it allows for faster movement inside the host, and because of this, it increases the infectivity. So of course I'm going to get this, which opens up this. Indultory locomotion. Ability to propagate flexural waves along the length of the worm allows an increase in speed and range outside hosts, increasing infectiousness. Basically, you're making it more susceptible, you're making it more vulnerable, people more vulnerable to infection, is what I'm saying. Which is something you want to do. You can clearly see that it's beginning to pick up too. Now we get Air 1 and Air 2. This is where you get your Air 1 and Air 2 abilities. Worm can dehydrate to become lighter, allowing them to float on wind, increasing infectivity, especially in arid conditions and plains. Then you have water. Worm skin becomes highly vascularized, allowing absorption of oxygen, survival and transmission in water. So basically, what you're doing is, this is your method to getting water and air transmission with the Neurax worm. Of course, you have animals as well on the other side. You know, eggs, you know, genetic swap, etc., etc. But, like I said, the Trojan plane ability is what I'm probably going to be targeting next in a moment. How much is for each of these? 8 and 9. I'll probably go for the Trojan planes ability next. Matter of fact, 6, okay. So, already you can tell that this is very, very different from the usual plague. And not to mention, if you haven't noticed, you have a new graphic here of what the plague actually does. It's not the human body this time, the whole human body, like from head to toe. Now it's just its brain. You might be getting an idea as to what this thing is supposed to be doing if all you see is the human brain. Yeah. I think you guys are going to be intrigued. But that's something I'll explain a bit more once we get to the symptoms, because that's where you start learning just what the worm can do. And that won't be immediate, as I said, because, well, we kind of have to start taking care of spreading first. And the good news is, just like the fungus, you can stealthily manage to do this. You can stealthily FTL, developer suit over permadeath, emotional trauma. Wow, I haven't seen that one before. So, Trojan planes means manipulation of dopamine transporters results in a form of ADHD, which encourages hosts to fly to a target country. So if you haven't guessed, the Trojan planes are manipulating the human brain to do things the human wouldn't think to do otherwise. So it's actually causing humans to fly to a target country. Like this. You see this button, and you hear that little sound, like a screeching sound. That's when you know you can send a worm to a host to a country that isn't affected, you know, yet, or has already been infected. You just want to make it more populated and easy to spread and all. Well, this is where the Trojan plane comes in. You click on it. What you do is you click on it, then you see an arrow show up. What you want to do is you want to highlight the arrow. You want to highlight the country you want to infect. For example, you want to infect the USA, okay? You highlight the US, then click. And this is what happens. Mind you, don't click as bad as I did. And as you see, there's an actual plane that flies over the country, and then that country gets infected. And look at that. Okay, apparently I have been found. I guess I was wrong about stealthily. Huh. I didn't think it would get found so quickly. Did I get a, oh.